Hello guys, how's it going? This is Sentient, and today I have some really special footage to show you. Finally, I got to try VR, virtual reality, for the first time. I was really lucky because I was invited by the guys at JetOne Motion here in Hong Kong to their center to try out the different experiences that they have to offer. So before trying the VR, I tried this racing simulator, and it was pretty fun. I mean, I'm not a guy big into cars or racing games, but still I had a lot of fun. It was a really great experience because in this chair, like every single little bump in the road, I could feel it, like the seat was shaking or even like braking. I could feel like the force pushing me forward. I guess it was the seat, but I felt like, you know, when you brake suddenly, you feel like you're being pushed forward, or when you accelerate, you go backwards. It really felt like there was like a 3D force pushing me, like moving me around as I was driving. So that was pretty cool. After that, I jumped into VR. That was, you know, I lost my VR virginity in that place, basically. So the first thing I tried was the Oculus Rift. As soon as I put it on, it was like, you know, kind of like mind-blowing. Like, even I was just only in the, I was not even in the game yet. I was like in a virtual room, and I was like, wow. So they gave me the Oculus Touch, which is the controller of the Oculus Rift, right? And I was actually surprised that the device could even recognize the movements of my fingers. Like, if I will bend my fingers or keep them straight, the device would actually recognize that. And even I could see my in-game hands basically doing exactly the same thing. So the first thing I tried was a game called Bullet Train. So of course I started up in a train. I was pretty clumsy anyway in the beginning. For example, when I had to pick up guns and stuff, I kept dropping them. I guess I was confusing the, like, basically my trigger finger, my index fingers, I guess they were for shooting, and then you have all the other buttons right below it, which is for grabbing the things. But I guess I don't know, for some reason I was just like dropping my guns all the times. But anyways, after a while I got the hang of it, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, I actually felt like Neo in the Matrix. You know, have you seen the Matrix? I think it's the second one, Matrix Reloaded, or even the first one. I don't know. There is that famous scene where basically he stops the bullets with his hand. I think that's the ending of the first movie. And basically in this game, you can actually pick the bullets as they come to you and throw them back. So that was pretty cool. And at the end of it, there even was this, like, this alien machine robot thingy that I don't know, like, it was like a mini boss, I guess, of the end of that section. And I even had to like pick up the rockets that it was shooting at me and like throw them back. I threw them back like shit actually, but I could see that the game still like readjusted the course of the rocket and made it land on the robot anyway. So it was like, you know, really, it was really forgiving, like, for a noob like me. The next game I tried was called The Climb, which of course was about climbing. This was pretty cool actually. I think it's the one I enjoyed the most out of all the things I experienced in this place. So first I did the tutorial, pretty simple stuff, right? You know, it's just about grabbing and, you know, only a few controls. And it seemed quite easy for me, like it was very intuitive for me to, you know, to just climb around. I guess it was just easier. The only thing I had problems with was when I had to like jump or leap. That sometimes got me, you know, I fell to my death a few times because of that. And actually falling down was one of the things that made me feel a little bit like I was actually falling, because while you're actually climbing, you're just looking at the wall, so you don't focus too much on how high you are. But then when you look down, it really looks like you're up in the, you know, you're way up above the ground. I don't suffer from, you know, vertigo, or I'm not scared of heights, but I still felt like, wow, I'm actually up high, you know. This game also got me pretty worked up at some point, because, you know, after I did that, I don't know for how long I did that, maybe like 15-20 minutes of constantly like shaking my arms up and down. I actually felt like I am doing some minor workout here. I mean, nothing major, but, you know, if I would have done that for a couple of hours, I guess, you know, I don't have to do any other exercise for the day. or the week, I don't know. I mean, it was pretty, you know, after a while I felt like I was actually using a lot of energy. This was also one of the best looking games I tried out of all of them. Like, it had some quite realistic graphics. Once I finally got out of the training level, which is just done like in a virtual, it's like a virtual place inside virtual reality, right? It doesn't look like real life. But then when you start your actual first level, you are on the side of this mountain on a cliff, you know, underneath you can see the water, and if you just look around, you can see like the sunset or whatever, like the boats in the distance. You can see like some wildlife, you know, just it looks pretty well made. I even remember, like, at some point when you're climbing up, you have to put your hand near some bugs, and I guess this is there for the people that are scared of bugs, right? So like they have to kind of overcome their, you know, their fear if they don't want to fall down. You know, maybe some people instinctively like let go as soon as they see the bug, and I guess that's part of the game. Another cool moment in this game was when I was like grabbing on a ledge, shimming right to left or left to right, I don't know, and basically the ledge I was grabbing on started to crack and collapse, and I was supposed to jump off of it and onto the next one before it would just break completely. Of course, the first time I did it I failed, but yeah, like after a couple of attempts I managed to get there again. So after that I actually moved from the Oculus to the Vive, so changed completely, you know, instead than the touch I had the wands, you know, the Vive controllers, and I don't know, it's just a different feeling. These ones were like, rather than having my own hands in the game, it was rather like I was holding something the entire time. The first thing I tried on the Vive was not a game, it was actually Google Earth. So that was pretty cool because I could get, for example, to ground level, you know, and see all the buildings and see the whole city as if I was like a giant monster or something. My next game was called Longbow, which is I think it's one of the maybe it's one of the most famous games for the Vive, because I think I've seen this game before quite a few times. And I was basically aiming with the wands. I was like loading up an arrow on a bow and like stretching it. Like, it had to be done properly, of course, because if you just like load it halfway, it doesn't shoot well. So you have to, you know, you have to do the motion in a pretty realistic way if you want to do it well, and you have to shoot basically these little guys that you see down below that are charging your castle's doors. They're like trying to reach certain points to break them, and you just trying to stop them. So pretty simple concept, you know, but it was pretty fun. And you know, you could also shoot some additional stuff. You don't only have to shoot the guys, you can, like, you know, shoot the red balloons. It was for recovering the health, and you also had some traps, like for example, if you shoot the explosive barrels, that will, you know, that will kill the minions. Let's call them the minions, I don't know how you call them. You know, they will just die right away if they get caught in the explosion of the barrels. So after this bow and arrow game, the last thing that I tried was an experience created by them. As I understand, they have their own developers and they are creating their own content. You are in an elevator and basically you get exposed to a variety of like scary things happening around you. But this experience, the way I've done it is incomplete, because I've just seen basically the software, right? But there is also a part of this experience that is supposed to be outside of the VR, where you get to feel basically like different motions or different, like for example, you're supposed to be inside of a booth, like if it's the elevator itself, right? And I think it's supposed to shake and it's supposed to give some physical response to what's happening. So of course we didn't have that. I only saw what I could see in the VR. So that concluded my experience at JetOne Motion. So at this point I would like to thank these guys again for inviting me to their center and giving me the chance to try all of this amazing stuff. So if you don't have a VR headset like me, or you know, if you cannot get one because I don't know, too expensive, or you don't have enough space in your place, or if your computer is not strong enough, then this is a great place where you can have some great experiences. So definitely check out JetOne Motion if you are in Hong Kong. I know I have quite a few subscribers from Hong Kong because that's where I am right now. So thanks again guys at JetOne Motion. Thanks also to my friend Crystal who helped me record this footage. And thank you for watching. My final closing words as usual will be to subscribe for more content. I am still trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I will catch you soon in the next video, and take care guys, bye bye.